Janusz Michallik joining me for some Premier League action, looking back at the Gunners who have made it 2 wins from 2, Janusz, something that they've not been able to do since the start of the season. We know the struggles that Arsenal have been going through, and last season Brighton gave them a whole world of trouble as well, but 1-0 thanks to Alexandre Lacazette with a brilliant shot. Mikel Arteta said he wanted to back up that Chelsea win with a big performance. How happy will he be with this performance?
Oh, he's not going to look at the performance. He may be talking about that, but I'm happy for him because at this stage or any stage really, when you're in trouble, you're looking at the results before you start looking at the performance, because we can pick on Arsenal, but this is not the time. This is not the time. We have done it now for last month or so, whatever, however long it's been. But today was about winning the game against a team that they were pretty, they were even ahead of this game. Both teams wanted to play and like to play football. There was space there. It wasn't a perfect first 45 minutes, but in the second half, I thought they upped the tempo a little bit, right? Arsenal, the way they did it. And they found a goal, of course. So, there's been question about in-game management. I know it's a lot of luck in a way. Lacazette comes in and 20 seconds later with the first touch, he puts it away after Saka, who for me had an incredible game, and not just this one, Alexis. He's been absolutely tremendous for Arsenal, even when they are not playing well. So fair play to Arsenal. Every manager, every team deserves some joy, and I for once I'm happy that we can kind of talk about that, look at it and say, you know what, these are massive 3.6. Now you have a foundation to build from.
Well, let's talk about that youngster that you just mentioned right there, Bukayo Saka, because he's been an absolute torch in the dark times for Arsenal, in the dark recent times as well. He was a brilliant mastermind as well, helping to set up that goal for Lacazette. Worrying sights though when it seemed that he had to come off because of an injury. He was all smiles after though, but how much do Arsenal need this youngster and need him to continue if they want to fight their way back at least into the top 6?
Well, sure, they need him because look, I mean, he's brave, he's dynamic, he works hard, he has no fear. And by the way, I like him on the left side more. And if you remember, he probably had the best chance on the left-hand side because Martinelli wasn't at his best. He's not ready just yet. But remember the chance that he set up from Aubameyang, which, by the way, was an incredible, in his book, should be a sitter. We'll talk about him maybe a little bit later. But he set that up on the left-hand side. But, on the goal, he was tremendous because it wasn't just the goal itself, that turn. I mean, that was pretty much on the halfway line. A great turn, turn of pace after that, quality in terms of how he composed himself, didn't rush the pass, waited for Lacazette to be open, and the finish itself was tremendous as well, right? It seems easy, but when you see it from behind, the way he bent it, Lacazette, that is, of course, around the defender, right near the post. Look, these are good things. There are things to fix. There are things to work on in an environment where you have no time to train, right? I mean, how do you work on these things? 2 very big and important wins for Arsenal. And I think that's the only way that we should look at it. And I promise you, Mikel Arteta will look at it as well.
Well, I mean, even though we're definitely giving praise to Saka for helping in that goal, Lacazette, I mean, brilliant finish, instant impact, 21 seconds into him coming onto the pitch, and we get the goal, the breakthrough for Arsenal. Some might be tempted to say that they want to see more of Lacazette. But what do you make of the mix that Mikel Arteta and how he's using this mix of young talent, as well as, even though Lacazette said after that he's probably feeling a bit old, the way the youngsters have been coming and stepping up?
Yes, I mean, you want that hunger, right? I mean, look, to be fair to Mikel Arteta, and many have knocked him, to talk about, look at Willian, look at David Luiz, look at this, look at that. As a manager, when you come in and you have these veterans that you pay pretty good money for, you almost have to give him a chance, right? Imagine if he started the season, without Willian and David Luiz and all that. I don't know how much you put on Edu with that, because those are his friends, I'm sure, Brazilian, and he, Arsenal pretty much gave them a chance because Chelsea didn't want either of the players, right? So you come in, you feel maybe a little bit of an obligation to give him benefit of the doubt, and even when they didn't play well right away, you kind of give him that chance. But now I think we've all seen that his patience has run out. These two players have not been playing well. In comes Smith Rowe for a youngster. I mean, he certainly carries a lot of weight and looked once again very good. Saka was doing that for a while. The biggest issue right now, I think, for Mikel Arteta is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. His confidence. I don't know what he needs to say. Look, Arteta said himself, we have no training basically between all these games. So he has to find a way to reassure him that he's the best. He's going to be playing. Sometimes even if you have to lie to him, because again, that was a sitter, the one that was set up for him. A good save, I suppose, but they need him firing, don't they? So the combination between Lacazette, Aubameyang, and all this, it'll happen because it's a natural rotation. But they need Aubameyang at his wages and with his talent to be more dangerous and to be scoring goals.
Well, Aubameyang's issues aside, I suppose, it's the end of 2020. So, we're all getting reflective, Janusz. So Mikel Arteta going into 2021, can he and Arsenal fans start to breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief based on what we've seen from these last two performances?
Look, they would take these last two games eyes closed for sure. He didn't expect to be in this much trouble after a good start to the season, good finish last year, good start to this season. He probably didn't have those expectations, but once you're in it, you just want to get away from it. And I think that's what he's going to remember. He's got West Brom away, which is a winnable game. You don't know if you're going to get the West Brom that held Liverpool at Anfield, or the West Brom that lost at home. Was the final, I think, 5-0 to leave. But if you Arsenal, you say to yourself, that's a team in trouble. We're much more talented. We have the momentum of 2 wins right now. We should, and an away win, which is important. You can go to West Brom and expect 3 points, I suppose, without taking the team for granted. So I think he'll be happy enough with the last 2 games. All matters now, you're managing from game to game in this pandemic.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.